What's going on, people? Today we're gonna be doing practice cold calling. We're gonna do live cold calls. We're gonna do some cold call role play, so you can learn how you ought to be talking to sellers when it comes to wholesaling real estate. And we got the not guru but guru, Mr. Cordero the cleaner,
The cleaner,
to
dude.
yeah, man. Talk to y'all about how to talk to sellers coming fresh off a 15K reduction uh,
Yeah.
yesterday on this deal that we've been working on, man. So, what's going on, Zay? Go ahead and like the video, man.
Zaytoven.
You know he coming through
Zaytiggy.
the
Shout
show,
out Zay,
man.
man.
Zay out there in Portland, man. They still eating breakfast, man.
It's yesterday in Portland, man.
I'm telling you, man, they still behind out there, man. So, but yeah, man.
Oh, speaking of which, man, just is one thing before I forget. Our Facebook rep, um, I reached out just to see like if she'd be available for a call. She said after 4:30 or something like that today, your time EST. So I'll jump on. I mean, if you want to get on there and just kind of touch bases with them and see. I'm
Yeah,
sorry to
yeah,
interrupt the
for
live for
sure.
that little detail.
No.
Just
You good, you good, you good.
see what time will probably work out. Let her know.
John Doe, what's up, man? Y'all ready to call in, do this cold call role play,
John
man?
Doe. Yeah, y'all here. Y'all
Yeah,
here,
man.
man. Somebody got to call us.
Yeah, somebody got call in, do this cold call role play real quick, man. What happened is, man, what you gonna do? Text your phone or
Now I'm
uh
gonna give y'all my smartphone number.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And you call. Yeah. Now y'all can, and then y'all can text me, and then I'll call the number. Now y'all call me. Matter of fact, because I'm the seller. I'll be the seller. Y'all gotta go ahead and give me y'all best. I'm just curious of what y'all gonna say, then we can give y'all a breakdown of how things went.
Okay. Well, nah, just
That's
give
how
him
Colin do it.
what do you do?
And he has the people call in, and he plays the seller, right?
So
Am I
what
correct?
number we got?
You need the number
Yeah.
615
Mm-hmm.
461 4715.
Is this right here in the comment section?
46. Yep. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Call that number, man.
Hey,
Call
what
that
about that
number.
other view you did yesterday?
What's that?
The other view where it was a little bit closer on the screen.
Oh, call that number. We're gonna do a cold call role play. You can check out it over there in the comments. Um, we're gonna do a cold call role play, man. If you on IG, I'm gonna post it over there too. And call in, man. And we're gonna do a role play with you so you can learn how to talk to these sellers, man. So what's some of the stuff they probably should start? How should they start the call off when they talking to sellers?
That is a great question. And so obviously I think, I do a particular way I do my intro. Um, and we call it just coming into the call being unassuming. But what I want to say is like just general, I want to give y'all general points that you probably should take into consideration in the beginning of the call. At the beginning of the call, that's how the unassuming part is how you do it. But the what is what I want to talk about is you want to make sure that you know the person you're talking to is the right person. That's major. Like a lot of times, especially when you do these, you tend to get on, hey, you thinking about a million things, and you need to get to center and make sure you get the basic points. Am I talking to Steve? It says Steve, but am I talking to Steve? Am I talking to Steve? Am I talking to Steve's wife, Steve's son, Steve's boss, Steve's best friend? And I
Yeah.
say that because when you're cold calling people in the dialer, oftentimes you get multiple different numbers. You could be talking to any of those people. They're like, Steve, I mean, he works here, but he's not in right now. So that's what you need to ascertain first. Am I talking to Steve? And then I'm calling about, let them know who you are Always let them know who you are. You don't want to get deep off into the call and realize they don't know your name, or you haven't at
Yeah.
least told them your name to begin with. My name is Cordero. My name is Zay. My name is Cass. My name is Ali. Um, but they need to tell them that and then say, hey, why you're calling. Hey, I'm calling about a property on Main. Shout out to Ali. Speaking of Ali, man. Uh,
Ali said, man, y'all be on the late night. My bedtime is 10 p.m., man. My bedtime 10 p.m. too, man. But we had to
hey,
go ahead and get it in.
yeah, man, no excuses, dude. But
No
I
excuse.
was thinking I'm about to go to sleep too. But
Hey, not doing it is off the table, man. It's not an
it's
option.
off the table, man.
It's
Off
off
the
the table,
table.
dude.
But who you're talking to, who you are, and why you're calling. And it's about a property, and you need to make sure that they are the owner of that property. Because if I'm calling to speak to Steve, and I'm actually calling to speak to Steve Johnson, don't refer to them by their last name. Speak to them on a first name basis unless they instruct you to otherwise. But you could be talking to the wrong Steve. So is it
Mhm.
Steve Johnson or is it Steve McCall, right? Is it Steve McCall that you're talking to? Hey, I'm calling about a property on Main Street. I'm not sure if I'm in the right place. Do you still own that property? And those are the bases that you need to be covering in the beginning. And those things are very small, but what I see people do a lot is they'll jump off into the call and they'll forget those minor basics. And it definitely works against you, dude. And it works against you. So, um, intro and then how to say it is like Byron loves to mention, it's the unassuming part. Is I never come in. You don't have to do it this way. I've seen all different type of tactics and they work. They all work if you know what you're doing. But I come in, I don't say, hey, Steve, hey, this is Cordero, man, calling about your property. And then I don't do that because then you get, hey, this is Cordero. I'm not Steve. Oh, I done got so far, but I'm talking to Steve's wife. If you jump in assuming that and you actually are talking to somebody else, then it just kind of takes away from what I believe is your credibility and a missed opportunity on rapport. If you were calling Steve, but you actually got a hold of his wife, you still could have made that a deal. Done it several times. But if you miss the rapport, it's not impossible to get it back, but it's hard. So I come off unassuming because they want to help you. Hey, I don't know if I have the right number. I was calling to speak to John.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, hey, yeah, this is me. How can I help you? And if I come on, I'm coming in like I'm on your side of the table. You're confused about the call, and I'm confused about the call too. But I made the call. You know what I'm saying?
But
You
two
like, who is
confused
this? And I'm
people.
like, who is this? You know what I mean? We both thinking, who am I talking to right now, and why? That's what we both
You're
thinking.
like, I don't even know if I'm in the right place.
I don't know. I'm calling about a property on Main Street. I'm not sure if I'm even in the right place. Do you still own that property? Things like that. Um, and so, uh, definitely, man. As a matter of fact, I mean, what y'all want to do? I'm curious at what y'all script is. I'm curious. That's what I'm curious about with all of this. Is I'm curious at what y'all do
I
when
wouldn't
y'all get on the
imagine
phone.
that you have a script. I wouldn't imagine anybody would have a script. But man, y'all need to hit the lines, man. Hit the phone number, call us up.
Y'all need to have some. Text me
Uh,
first if you want to, or call it. But somebody
yeah,
raise your
text
hand.
or call. Hit us up, man. We need to get this thing rolling, man.
Yes, sir.
Get it ro- get it rolling. But yeah, so coming off unassuming, you don't assume that you know who's answering this phone. You know what I'm saying? It's like you almost have
Yeah.
to shift your whole mindset. Think, you know, uh, basically shift your mindset to think, I don't know who this is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that's a big thing to do, and it's a
No,
completely different mind shift.
that's a big thing, and I like the way you put that because essentially that's what it is. And you talked about it before, but essentially that's what it is. Is I'm actually putting myself in a real mindset. I don't know who this is, right? And I think that kind of ties into our entire approach to this business. Is just being transparent, and you'll realize how much easier it is to communicate with people, how much easier it is to negotiate, to solve their problems, how much easier it is to build rapport, to close the deal, to ask for a concession. everything that from the first time you talk to them to the day you walk away with your check, all the times that you're going to have to communicate with that seller, if you start off being completely transparent with yourself and then them, then it just makes that everything that much easier. Down to the point where we let them know, hey, we we are not the I'm not the buyer. I work with the network of investors who are purchasing property in your area, right? And so the same way is like I put myself in the mindset of let's be real. You're cold calling. I don't know if I'm calling. I don't know if I'm talking with Steve. Even if it's a Facebook lead that filled out a form, or if it's a PPC lead that filled out a form online and put all their information in, you could still call them, and that could have been somebody putting the misinformation. They could have typed something wrong. You still don't know, is my point. So if you get on that call, being truthful in that mindset of I really don't know, let's figure this out together, then that's just going to help you so much more. So it's like a mindset shift, other than okay, I need to go on the, as opposed to I need to get on this call and I need to know everything.
Yeah.
That's really what the opposite. That's really what the alternative method to this whole thing is. Getting on there and saying, I need to know everything. When that's not real, that's not possible, and also that's why you probably stress out and nervous to talk to people. What if I don't know something? What if they ask me something? What if I make a mistake? If I get on there, hey, I don't know if I have the right number. I'm in the right place. If you and I work for an investment company, I work for my job. You don't go to your 9 to 5 every day thinking, what if I make a mistake? You don't. You don't clock in thinking, what if I make a mistake? If you make a mistake, you know that there's a way to get that done. You know you can figure it out. You know what you need to be doing, so on and so forth, but it's truthful. You don't go there acting like you can handle all problems, for sure. I know that for a fact. And so take that same mind. It is a mindset shift, just like, I really don't know who I'm talking to. And that just takes a lot of pressure off. And I think it provides clarity for you when you on these phones, in the dialer, when you calling, when you even following up.
Yeah, I think so, man. I think you had a valid point. Just
Yeah,
taking that approach, man. It's different. It's a lot different than what a lot of people throw out there, tell people to do. Um, so I really like it, to be honest with you. I'm like, man, I'll be trying to use that for sure. But man, we gonna man, how about let's do it. I'll role play with you real
dude,
quick on the property.
I want Keaton to call in, man. I know
Yeah,
Keaton
let's get Keith on the call in,
cold.
man.
Hey, man, I'm
Man,
gonna share a.
Met Keith on this weekend, man. It was crazy. He was trying to tell me about the event. I'm like, dude, Chris Jefferson's showing up. Everybody in Atlanta trying to be there. You know what I'm saying? Chris
Yeah,
Jefferson
man.
have to keep some people out of that thing, man. Um, but shoot, let's show him what you do, man. I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna post his address right here.
For sure. And by the way, I just emailed you. I just replied to the email you sent me for this StreamYard link. I just emailed you a Google Docs, so that way you can check. It has the script. The script I use, it has that script, so you can share it with everybody if anybody's interested
Oh, okay.
and access
Yeah,
to the script. We don't gatekeep nothing around here, man. If you want the script, take the script. If it helps you, it helps you for sure.
man. You gotta hear the man. You gotta hear this guy go at it, man. So let's pull this property up though. We can see kind of what you would do. Uh, can you can't pull it up though, right?
I mean, I could, I can. It's what's the property? 610
Yeah.
in Austin.
So I'm gonna be the seller, but they're gonna be calling me, and we're gonna get into it.
That's
I don't know,
610
man. I don't
Austin
know.
Drive. Am
Yeah,
I right?
it's on. It's
Okay,
on.
I
It
got
should
it.
be on the screen, right? Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I'm the cold caller.
Yeah. You the co-caller.
Okay. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello?
sorry, can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Hello?
yeah, I can hear you now.
Hey, yeah, I'm sorry about that, man. I don't know if I have the right number. I was calling to speak to Byron. Am I in the right place?
Uh, yeah, this Byron, what's going on?
Hey, Byron, my name is Cordero, and I was just wanting to give you a quick call. Actually, it's in regards to a property. I'm not sure if you even own it on Austin Drive in Smyrna.
Yeah, I still own that property. What's going on with it?
Yeah, man, and I'm sure you probably get calls like this all the time. But what it is, I work with a group of investors who are purchasing property in your area, and just want to know if you were thinking of selling at this time by chance.
I really hadn't thought about selling. Uh, I don't know. I mean, maybe if I got the right price, I'm really trying to hold on to it for the long term if I can.
Gotcha. Okay, no, I understand. I mean, what's the right price?
I don't know, man. I got a few tenants in there, and I
Hmm.
really hadn't done anything to the property in a while, but
Okay.
uh I don't know. If I did sell it, would have to be as is.
Okay.
It's in rough shape.
Okay. Gotcha. No worries, man. Well, I mean, for sure, I know you said, I mean, you're kind of, you don't know if you would, especially with the tenants in there. Uh, but I mean, what I would like to do, if you got some time today, if I could ask you a couple questions and I can get your property information over to our underwriters, and then we can get you an offer for maybe you to think about and see if that's something you'd be interested in. Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, man. Like I said, let me just ask you a couple questions. I'll get this over to our underwriters. We'll be able to get back to you shortly. But you said that you have a few tenants in there. I mean, tell me, I mean, how long have these tenants been in the property? Are they on a month to month or a 12-month lease?
Tenants on the month to month. They've been in there for 7 years, and
Mm, okay.
really hadn't fooled around with the leasing thing like that. So they're kind of paying below market rent. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I really hadn't did anything to renovate the property, anything since I bought it. Um, but yeah, man,
That's okay.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna end up doing with it.
Okay. And you said they're paying below market rent. I mean, what are they paying now on the property?
So right now they're paying 12.75.
Okay. And what do you think, somebody was to buy it, fix it up, put some lipstick, makeup on it. What do you think they could rent it out for?
I think they could probably get like 23,
Mm,
2,300.
okay. Okay. And you said, as far as the actual property itself, you said you hadn't really done anything. I don't know how often you go to look at your properties, your investments, but, do you know what it needs or if it needs anything in particular?
Uh, Probably just need a whole cosmetic remodel.
Uh,
Um, I think there's like maybe some mold growing in one of the bathrooms every now and then. So maybe
okay.
that's the problem. I didn't quite resolve it, but then again, they never complained about it coming back.
Hmm.
Um,
Gotcha.
but other than that, it just needed a complete remodel inside and out.
Okay. Okay. No, I understand that. What about like structurally though? It's like, what about the foundation and the roof on the home, things like that? Are those solid or when was the last time the roof was updated?
The roof was updated about 3 years ago. The rest of the
Okay.
foundation and stuff is solid. Like I said, it's just very outdated. It's very
Gotcha.
outdated, and yeah, just very outdated.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we understand that for sure. And I just want to let you know, I mean, I don't know if you mentioned, when was the last time the HVAC was updated on the property?
HVAC, I actually updated HVAC 4 years ago.
Okay. Okay. So you doing something to it, man. You put a new roof and a new HVAC on that thing. You doing a little something to it.
Yeah, but
Um,
the inside look it
oh,
it, it looked
yeah,
bad.
gotcha. And I want to let you know, man, a little bit about us. As I mentioned, I work with the network of investors. We're essentially a service provider to our network of investors. And what this allows us to do, we're not just one investor with one particular criteria that we need your property to fall under, and we can buy it at this price. That's all we can do. You can take it or leave it. We can do competitive cash offers. Because we have a network of different investors, we can be flexible with our timeline. You know, your tenants are on a month to month, but if you said that we needed 10 months to close on the property, we can make that happen. If you needed 10 days to close on the property, we can make that happen. And of course, we don't mind buying an as is condition. Just as an FYI, like we wouldn't ask you to come in and do any updates. But as far as timeline goes, though, when would you like to be? If we can get you what you're looking for, like you said, a price that works for you, when would you like to close on it?
I think I'd probably be willing to close, I don't know, 60, 90 days. I get the tenants 60 days notice.
Hmm.
Once they get their 60-day notice, they'll be out. I probably can close in, maybe take 75 days or 90 days or so.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yes, definitely give them a notice. And again, man, if I didn't mention it, we're really flexible. We've worked with tenants. We like to be respectful of people's time. We're not like, oh, we don't care about the tenants. We just buy it and throw them on their out on the street, down on their luck and stuff like that. So we can definitely make sure the tenants are taken care of, and we wouldn't mind buying it as is. Are there any HOAs in that neighborhood?
No, there's no HOA.
Okay. Um, and let me ask you this, man. I don't know ultimately if you do end up selling and how much you sell for and when you sell and all of those factors. Are you the only decision maker in that process? Is there anyone else that would help you make that decision?
Nah, I'm the only decision maker in the process.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. So your name is on. I just want to make sure I'm not stepping on anyone's toes. Your name is the only one on the paperwork.
Yep. Yeah. My name's the only one on paperwork.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha, man. And I mean, dude, you said the rent, like, 1275 is good, but if you go in and fix it up, you can get 2300 out of it. I mean, have you thought about maybe just, changing tenants, keeping it as a rental and fixing it up and getting more? Have you thought about that?
I thought about it, man. It's just so much work. I don't have time. I'm busy with my job and with my
Hmm.
family. I don't have time to fool with it.
Man, I understand. I always tell people it's like having a rental property is like having a second job. It's not just passive income. You just have that and you forget about it and got to do nothing to it. It's like, I know what that's like. Um, and so, I mean, is there any reason why you wouldn't just, I mean, I know it's an as is condition and it has tenant, but other than that, have you thought about just fixing it up and just to put it on the market? Maybe that would be worth your time. Is that something you thought about?
I hadn't thought about putting it on the market. Um, Probably wouldn't want to deal with that mess anyways of showing people the property that might not be interested, showing it with the
Yeah.
tenants, and just I don't know. I really hadn't even thought about selling it that much. It's just that
Yeah.
if I was able to get in the right situation, I'd probably sell it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you do for work?
So I do trucking. I run two big
Yeah.
trucks, and I mainly do that. So it keeps me busy. Just now, I got 3 kids, so I'm running around with them, and just really don't have time. The property is about an hour away from where I live, so
Yeah.
I just don't have time to deal with it and spend a bunch of money doing that stuff.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And you know what? One thing I heard, I don't have any kids, but I heard that once you get to number three, you pretty much tied up. You pretty much tied up for a while till somebody go off to college or something like that,
Yeah, I don't plan on having any more kids. That's for sure.
man. Yeah, I hear you. Absolutely, man. And I know you hadn't thought much about, actually selling it. But let me ask you this, man. If we could get you an offer, I get this over to my underwriting teams and we get this back to you. If we could get you an offer that worked for you it made sense. Obviously we buy it as is, get the tenants enough time, and there's no realtor fees, no closing costs, and we don't have to do a whole lot of showings and all of that. We can just go look at the property one time. If we could get you that, what would it mean to you? Maybe you'd be able to invest more time into your trucking. Maybe you spend more time with your family. What would it mean to you to get this house sold?
I would say, um, I would say probably, I probably would use it to buy some different type of investments or something like that. But
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not looking to sell it. If I can get what I needed out of it, I'll probably go ahead and just let it go, just
Mhm.
because I'd rather get rid of it before it becomes a headache, than holding on to it and then it just
Yeah, man.
by itself becomes a headache.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. With these properties is like, especially a single family, it's like one month it could be an asset, the next month it could be a liability. It entirely depends. And so, definitely, man. And do you is it just free and clear, or do you owe anything on the mortgage that we'll have to pay off at closing?
No, 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 man. I don't owe anything on the mortgage.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. So, I mean, again, I know you hadn't thought much about it, um, and we're coming in as is. You don't got to do nothing to it, and we can close. We can close 10 days after we can close the day after the tenants are out. Because if we got 60 days, give them a time, we can go ahead and do title search, and give the tenants enough time. We can close the day after they're out of the property. I mean, as
Mm.
is, you don't got to do nothing. I mean, what would we need to come in at? Like a number that makes sense to you. I would love to see if we can make that work.
I don't know, man. I don't know exactly, what I would need to be, but
Mhm.
I'm thinking, I don't know, man. Probably, I want to get close as I can to 400,000.
Okay. Um, Absolutely. Um, okay. And again, what I'm going to do is take this information and go ahead and get this over to our underwriters just to see if if it'll be a good fit for us, and if we can get you over an offer, something that might look good to you. Um, but again, like I said, we can close quick, and I think the biggest thing is we can if you do end up going with us, we can offer speed and convenience, and we would be buying it as is. I'm gonna get this over to how much money do you think the property needs to so that way we can go ahead and fix it up and its renovation. I'm sure you probably have a somewhat of an idea more than I would on how much it would probably cost us to get it up to par.
Oh man, you probably got to spend, I would say, somewhere upwards of 30K to get the inside right, and to make sure the outside is all good to go. Maybe spend another 10K, so maybe like 40K or somewhere maybe right above that.
Okay. Okay. And it's a 1,500 square foot home, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. I'm correct on that, right?
Yeah, 1,500 square feet, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. Since it's in okay shape, but it's just very outdated.
Yeah, that's cosmetically, so we have to come in there. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And let me ask you, I know you said as close as you can to 400. Just understanding that obviously, full disclosure, we do have to let people know. Obviously, we will be purchasing this property with the intentions of making money on it. Whether that's flipping the property, renting it, buying it to rent it out, fixing it up, listing it on the market is an option that we do sometimes. Assigning it, Airbnb or anything like that. I do let people know, but understanding that we are purchasing it to invest, um, you know, what I don't know if we'd necessarily be. I think high end, if it was completely fixed up, it'll probably go for like 430, um, around there. If we came in, and I just want to ask because I'm going to check with my team anyway. I know you're trying to get to the 400. If we came in at around 370 on the home, would it be worth your time? Should I even give you a call back, or what are you thinking?
Mm, 370 is really pushing it. Um, I'll probably need to be, you know, at least 385 to get the deal done.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Um, so what I'll do, uh, 385. Like I said, let me take this information, get it over to our underwriters so they can go ahead and start. They're the ones, they pull the comps, they look at the area, look at the schools in the area, all those little details. And what we'll do is when we get back to you, they're either, for most places, they kind of can just look at the information online and get us over an offer. Sometimes they may come back and say, hey, can we come look at the property and maybe set up a walkthrough, or which we, of course, we wouldn't disturb the tenant. We just got to look at it one time. We can tell them it's an insurance inspection or something like that. But then we'll be able to let you know. But I want to make sure that we're able to get something over to you once we get an official offer. What's your email address so that way I can go ahead and get it sent over to you once I hear back from them?
My email address is the
Okay.
REI next door.com.
Door. Door.com. Hey, I know a guy who has that same name. Cool guy. Real cool guy. But I'll go ahead and get this over to him, man. And like I always say, I want to be able to get a hold of you when I get a call, give you a call back. Um, when is a good time for me to reach you? I want to make sure, like, once I hear back from the team, I want to be able to touch base with you to let you know what's up. When's a good time?
I'm usually available around this time, sometime after 2.
Yeah.
Sometime after 2, but don't call me after maybe 6:37.
After 2, before 6:30.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I know how that truck driver lifestyle is, man. You mess around and be in Nebraska one moment, and then you back home the next in Georgia, and it's just like you gotta get your sleep. You ain't got time for all of that. So uh, I'll definitely give you a call, and let me give you my direct line. What I'm gonna do, this number we're talking on, can I text you on this number? Is it a cell phone?
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna text you from my direct line, so that way when I call you back. This is just a company number I'm calling you on, but my direct line, when I call you back, it's me. Yeah, I'm sure you probably get calls like this all the time, so I want to make sure you notice me. But it's a 615-461-4715, and I'm sending you a text now with my name and company information. Just confirm that you got that. I just want to make sure you got it before we get off the line.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Byron, man. Again, like I said, let me get this information over to my team, and I'll get back to you as soon as I hear back. We usually say 1 to 2 business days. We can. And do
Gotcha.
you have any questions for me or anything that you want me to pass on to my underwriters while I'm talking to them?
Nah.
Okay. Well, thank you again, Byron, man. I really do appreciate your time, man. Like I said, I'm going to get this over to him. I'll get right back to you, man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. You have a good day.
All right. Boom.
Man, went through a whole call, man. He was dropping it on. Like, little smooth little call, just to show y'all like the different things
Yeah.
that he would go through on a normal call. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
you gotta learn how to operate a normal call before you learn how to operate somebody that's like off the wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like
And
you got
honestly,
go ahead.
I was going to say, honestly, another thing I started realizing too is like, honestly, you probably would get more off the wall and tough seller objections than anything. And what you do is you start to train for it. Well, if a seller is angry, what do I do? If a seller is like wrong number, what do I do? It's just like, but when the real good call comes in, you don't know what to do. You don't expect them. They catch you off guard. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, what do I do? And those be the ones where live, you be like, so I start realizing like when you training, you need to prepare for these calls. Because this Byron, you heard me on that call. What was it, last night? think it was last night. It went it's a lot similar to this. It's just
Yeah.
like very similar to this. And the length of that call, how long I took, that's actually how long I usually take. I take my time. I'm not trying to rush them. There is no speed that you got to do this within. If they're in a rush, be cognizant of that and show them. But this is the structure, how I go, what I do when I get to the end, and all of those things. But you want to be prepared for these calls more than anything, because these are the ones that you're looking for. It's like you want to be prepared for a needle in the hay. You don't want to just go look for a needle in the haystack and you find it. You're like, wait, what do I do? What do I
Yeah.
do with it? And
Hmm.
so this is actually how it looks, man. What are some of your takeaways from that call? Anything I could have done better? Anything that I did right? What are you thinking?
Well, I think a couple of things you was listening to. I don't know if you was writing it down, but you was listening to like things that was like cons of me keeping the property. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And you was
Yeah,
like con, con,
yeah,
con. We can handle all these cons. Then what's the price? You know what I'm saying?
yeah, man. Just so you know,
Yeah.
on every call I do, and I think this is something I probably not don't always mention. Obviously, you have notes. Like you can type your notes when you're in the dialer, or you can type it. Every call, I got so many of these notepads all around. I got so many of these notepads. It's like, and they're all filled up with. And I use it. What I started doing was writing, because I'll be like, man, what property was this from? But I'll start writing the name and the address. But this is major because it helps me get flow. So I'm keeping track of the call, and it'll make you seem that much more competent to the seller if you can go back and highlight, well, I know you said this and I know you said that. It helps me listen. So just by writing it down while I'm listening to them, I don't have to refer back to the notes. But if I do forget something, I can always refer back to the notes.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I am writing it down. But those things, what about those objections or those things? What you're saying?
Just value stacking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like, hey, if I can give you this value, that value, that value, that value, that value, that value,
yeah,
then what will you do? You know what I'm saying? It's like
yeah,
people start naming the things that are wrong. If you can solve the problems that are wrong, then you are adding value. And people will, reward you for adding value. That's the way it works.
for sure, man, for sure. Now and that's one simple thing that you can do that'll take your skills to the next level. All you got to do is listen to all of the little pain points that they give you. Just listen to all of the things that they say. Well, the property's in as is. He said, "Yeah, I'm selling in an as is condition." And also, too, listening is more important than talking. Listening is more important than what you say and how you say it, believe it or not. Listening is a superpower on these calls. And so he said at the top of the call, I'm selling it as is condition, by the way. I could have interrupted him. Just so you know, we buy properties in as is condition. But no, hold out. Get the whole spiel from him. Let him say everything you got to say. Let him get it off his chest. And then, you know, you don't even got. I I asked him about timeline next, but I was just like stacking it as I go. Sometimes I don't even bring it all back up until the end, and the whole first half of the call is just about asking them discovery, figuring out what their pain points are, and then at the very end, you stack them all up before you
Yeah.
ask about price. Right? It's really
Hmm.
the best way to do it. Uh, I mean, what are some things that I could have done better though? Like little things that I probably could have done better at.
I would say, uh, if you really wanted to get me to sell, um, I would ask more questions about, like, what do you think you're gonna do if you don't sell the property?
Yeah,
You
that's a
know what
good
I'm
one. That's
saying,
a
or
good.
something like that.
Yeah, no,
Or what do you think happens if you hold on to the property? You
yeah,
know,
no, that is
or
actually
something like that, maybe to make me think about: do I really want to hold on to this property? You know what I'm saying, or do I want to sell?
because that's major for this particular seller because he's one of those sellers who was just like he's got all the motivation, he's got all of the reason to sell, but he doesn't have what I call the urgency because he's like, I ain't really even thinking about selling it. But it's a pain in my back. It's cosmetically it's suffering. The tenants are well below like over $1,000 below market value for that area. I'm losing. It's like I don't owe any money, but it's just like it's a hassle, but I ain't even been thinking about selling it. So it's like with that person, it's like it's your job to get them to think about selling it without trying to force it on them. And so it's about asking them the questions and asking the right questions to get it out of them without. I'm big on this. Don't try to give a person what you want them to have. Don't try to give a person the problem that you want them to have or anything like that. I didn't say, well, I'm sure you don't want to list it out, right? It's just like, so you probably don't want to list it out. I was just like, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I said, well, maybe have you considered, I know you don't got a lot of time, but maybe you thought about fixing it up and putting it on the market and paying a realtor. Would that be worth your time? Right? Maybe that'll be worth your time. I didn't tell him, I asked him. And so he can let me know, oh, no, I don't want to do that. And so it's not about like making these people or convincing them to think a certain way. It's your job to ask the questions the right way to pull it out of that person if they got it. And then if they don't got it, they don't got it. Like if he
Yeah.
really doesn't have the motivation, I'm not trying to, or excuse me, he has a motivation, but if he really doesn't have an urgency, then he really doesn't have an urgency. And it's just about following up with him until he's like ready and we can get a real number. But
Yeah.
it's about being able to ask the right questions. One thing I think I could have did better was
What's
what
that?
I usually do is I will get through the call. That question I asked, how much do you think it would need to fix it all up? What I usually do is I get through and
Yeah.
then I ask the price. And before I get off the call, that's when I'll throw in my freestyle. That's when I'll add whatever I feel like was missing on that call or go deeper. And that's when I add that question. Well, how much do you think you would need to fix up the property? But the only problem with that is the timing. That was a good question. That was the right question to ask, but I asked it while I was already talking about the price. So if you got a somewhat smart seller, they're going to be like, why are you asking me about how much it costs to fix up when we're talking about the price that I want for the property? Like he'll he'll easily be able to identify what I'm trying to do there, and they'll fight you. What I should have done was at the top of the call, again, playing chess. You got to play chess with them. And so I should have asked him that well before I start talking about the price. And when he was talking about that, so, okay, I mean, how much do you think it'll cost to fix all of this stuff up? So that way he'll just answer the question honestly without any attachment to, oh, if I save 40,000, then they're going to offer me a lower price. So I probably should say like 35 or 30. I should be more conservative. That's what they're going to think.
Yeah.
If I ask them, when we talk about the price and I ask them, how much do you think it'll fix it up? He gonna be like, he probably asked me that so he can offer me less. So let me say 20. Because you can get
Yeah.
it done for 20. And maybe even subconsciously
Mhm.
they'll do that. And so you got to be playing chess. You got to be ahead of them. And so I should have asked that question a lot sooner in the call. And then when we get to price, I could have brought it back up. Well, if you remember, sir, earlier in this conversation, you said it would cost $40,000. You said it would cost 50,000. And who knows? Maybe even subconsciously, if I had asked Byron that sooner at the top of the call, it was a practice call. Maybe he even would have said 50, because
Yeah.
really he gave me a quote of 30 to 40,000. He might have even said 50 to 60, and I brought
Yeah.
it up. Well, you said it's going to cost us about 60,000. So that's another thing that I think I could have done. It's not what
Uh,
I did or didn't say; it was the timing where I put it.
Another thing that you could have said that maybe you say this for later because you do it later on. I know, like when you following up and you really trying to negotiate and get them down. Maybe you do this when you negotiate, but you say like, yeah, your property's in a great area, it's in a great neighborhood. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's some really nice houses there. How much you think it'll cost to
yeah,
get your property to be able to compete with the properties in that area? You know what I'm saying? You said a different way. It's like when you negotiate, you like, man, we're gonna have to spend a lot of money to bring your property
yeah.
up to the standard of the nice properties in the area. It's like that works really good. So
Yeah,
some
no, no,
reason, like
that's
sellers start thinking like, yeah, they are gonna have to make it look as good as these other houses around me.
yeah, yeah, because you're really bigging them up. You're really giving them a compliment. You're not putting them down, but you're using that to your advantage. But no, I thought about doing
Yeah,
that, but don't do that. You can, but I wouldn't say do that on this call because that's the heavy artillery.
yeah,
And and I guess that's a good point to talk about next. And what you'll notice, what I did do is that was soft negotiation, is what I call it. I was doing soft negotiation with him. What I did was say, okay, you want 400. That's about, if y'all haven't pulled up the property, the Zestimate is 431. So he said, and we get sellers who say this all the time. I want to get as close as I can to 400. What do you mean as close? Where you want? Talking about as close as I can. And I think that if I was selling, that would be what I use. That's a pretty good negotiation tactic on their part, I think, just to say that as close as I can to this number. And I'm like, you're not telling me nothing. You're telling me something and not telling me something at the same time. So I take the 400. He's soft negotiating, and I'm soft negotiating too. So I say, okay, okay, man, let me get this over to my team. Not me, but if my team come back and say 375, should I even call you back? I don't want to waste anybody's time. I mean, should I reach out to you? I mean, what do you think? And then you saw he was just like, I can't do that. Now he's like thinking about a real number. He gave me a real number, which was 385. So that's
Yeah.
soft negotiation, because I'm like, we're not saying that's where we got to be at. It's not when he say 385, we shake on it right there. It's like, where do we need to be at? That's really, I was just trying to pull a realistic number out of him. But that tactic, and I really did think about that. I was like, man, because this isn't a nice neighborhood. I could hit him with the, oh, your house is nice, and we gotta. I was like, nah, not on this call. And this is what I was talking about. I think yes, at some point it was just like about having a system. It's like you don't have to close them on the cold call. You need to qualify them. I would say definitely do soft negotiation to get a hard number, and even contest that number to see if it's negotiable. Sometimes I don't just straight up saying, is that number negotiable? I mean, I guess for some people that might work, but I don't do that.
Yeah.
How I asked them, is it negotiable, is what I did right there. Y'all take that one to the bank. Okay, and if I go to my underwriters and they say we need to be around here, is it even worth giving you a call back, or what are you thinking? If they say no, it's gonna get their real number out of them either way, even if it is 400. No, I need 400. Okay, just wondering. Got you. No,
Yeah.
or the people who really are negotiable, they'll say 385. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it was. But that was a good point. But you are right, Byron. I would save that one for actual acquisition. Again, this is more of a cold call, what you do on the cold call. If you want to learn about acquisitions, then go to my website and buy my course. I don't got a course.
Stupid, man.
But we can talk about acquisitions another day. But that is something that I didn't do intentionally. But again, it's about timing. Something is about timing. It's about what you say. It's about how you say it. It's about listening. And if you listened, he had a motivation, but he did not have an urgency. There needs to be an urgency. You need to find and pull out that urgency. And that's not the time, because the time was centered around him getting the tenants out. And so he easily could put that off on, oh man, well, 60 days. I don't have to say it. Any reason why you want to wait 60 and 90 days? It's like, because it's about getting the tenants out. And I can't say, well, I mean, is there any reason why you want to get the tenants out? He already said, I'm not even thinking about it. He was easily going to say, well, you called me. It's like, try to avoid that. Try to avoid asking the questions that you know the answer to. Don't just say stuff just to say it. Actively listen. He's already telling you. And if you're actively listening, then your mind will naturally say, well, I already know this. I already know this. What don't I know? What I don't know, I mean, if it's causing you so many problems, I mean, what are you going to do if you got to keep it? I mean, how much longer do you think before you're like really actually fed up with it? And that's where Byron's question came into play. Well, it's just like, I mean, what are you going to do if you don't sell it? I don't know, man. I don't know. Just hold on to it. Okay. Because really what I'm trying to figure out is, how motivated are you? You got to be motivated, having motivation and an urgency. Having an urgency, man. We got a couple minutes. Somebody need to call this dude. Somebody.
Man. You got to call in.
Ali, I already know you on the flight right now, so Ali can't necessarily.
Yeah, for sure. You already know what Ali doing.
Cass, man, maybe Cass, dude.
Cass, I think Cali, man.
Come on, Cass. You gonna call in? Let us know. Put it in the
Show us some
comment
of that
section, Cass, if
California
you will.
love.
California love. Salesman better
I'm
not purchase
assuming,
your course.
of course, my who sells present. He's dropping heavy information.
Matter of fact, William, you
Appreciate it, William Johnson, man. Appreciate it, man.
nah, dude, that is crazy. Like he's dropping crazy information, and it was free for a time. That was crazy, dude. That was crazy. But I'm telling you, William, we was talking about it last week. You know what I'm saying? When you was asking us tips, man. Call in. Let's see. It was William, right? Pretty sure it was you, Will.
Well worth
Uh,
the
for
price.
sure, for sure. William,
I
man,
tried to,
call in right
man.
now.
Yeah, call in, man. I'll put the number back up here, man. Call in. You want to hear role play, man. Uh and shoot. Let try to go through there, man, and make a cold call. Matter of fact, maybe we can let William
The
be the
seller,
seller. Yeah.
do that, man.
Maybe we can let William be the seller. Whatever you guys need, let me know. Call that number right there, Cass, man. And Cordero is gonna be the buyer. You're gonna be the seller. Cordero cold calling you. You just call in. Cordero gonna cold call you. It's gonna be like like when you're on the dollar. You know, the other person pick up the phone. You can't hear them. You know what I'm saying? They're like, "Hello, hello," and then it pops up on your screen. That's usually how I work on the dollar, right?
No, not usually. Sometimes that
No, I'm
happens.
just saying that person usually like they picked up the phone and then it populates on your screen and say do do do. Like you could
No,
like you could tell like even when I'm listening to you on your like I could tell that the other person has pretty
no.
much
What?
like it.
It's a it's a syncing. So it syncs up. So their audio, the system, and my audio are three different things.
Yeah,
But what you're hearing when that beat pops up, ideally, how it's supposed to happen is that all of it's supposed to happen at one time. But sometimes, if you, that's why you got to make sure that you only have one tab open. And I always say refresh the dialer. Sometimes it will get off sync, and you could tell that that person answered whether it was a millisecond, whether it was 3 seconds, whether it
yeah,
was like 4 or 5 seconds before. And you don't want that to happen. It happens, but you don't want that to happen. But
yeah,
ideally, it's supposed to like when it beeps, all of our audio connects at one time. That's how it's supposed to work.
yeah.
But it does happen like that, yeah, for sure.
And then it take a little time for that information to pop up. Like they pick like if like say if I hit the button on my phone, just slide it across and boop. I now how long has my information popped up on your screen?
Yeah, yeah.
You
No,
see what
that's
I'm
pretty
saying?
quick.
Like if it's a 3-line dollar and I slide mine over and it picks up right there, it's gonna take at least 1 second or a millisecond
A
for my
millisecond.
name to actually be one of those people that pop up on your. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that person when they slide their phone, they own that phone before they name like my name ain't gonna pop. It's three names right here. You know what I'm saying? And it's dialing all three. The person that hit that button, they on the phone now. You know what I'm saying? As soon as they
They
hit
on
that
the
button,
phone.
they on that phone right now.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, and it can do that. But a lot of times with the information, it's really quick about pulling up their
Yeah,
information.
yeah, yeah.
But
It
I
pop
think the
up
biggest
fast.
thing is what you said is like, and there are other things like people will put on voicemail block. So where it'll
Yeah,
detect for voicemails. And what that does is it literally adds an extra 3 to 5 seconds when they answer because the system is trying to identify is this a real person or is this just a voicemail? And that's why I
yeah,
don't put that on mine is because I'm trying to I don't need them 3 to 5 seconds. That will frustrate a person to death. That's
yeah.
a big
Shoot,
tip.
yeah. They
Don't
say
put on the
saying
voicemail
hello,
blocker, y'all.
hello, hello, because
Yeah.
like I get cold called all the time, like for trucking
And then
stuff.
you hear that, dude, that's what I don't
No,
want to
I don't
happen.
even hear the dude, but it's like I'm saying hello, hello, and then they pop
And
up
yeah,
like a second
no,
or two after. That
yeah.
boom, they pop up. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm saying. It's just like if it's doing that, then you got to refresh your system or something like that. You try, don't let that happen. And that's like a big thing. Even if it's like 3 seconds, you know that 3 seconds.
Y'all listening
Hello.
to a cold call monster over here, man.
You don't want that to happen, man. So you want to make sure you refreshing every couple minutes and stuff like that. That does happen, but you don't want it to. But
A
Zay,
dollar guru.
a
A
duru,
dollar
man, a
guru.
cleaner. I'm a
Said
cleaner, man. Just
cleaner.
like one, if you read the book Relentless, you know one thing about a cleaner is a
Yeah.
cleaner is just like, yeah, we did it, but not necessarily. It ain't that you ain't ever satisfied, but that the best, I guess, satisfaction comes in the pursuit. It's just like, yeah, I got the 15K reduction, but I wanted more. And I want to, you know what I'm saying? It would be nice to have more acquisitions calls and stuff like that, like to get better at that and stuff like that. And I want another opportunity and another opportunity and another opportunity. So um,
Yeah.
that's one of the major identifiers about a cleaner, right? But speaking of books, I don't know. Speaking of books, I'm reading this book. You know, before we talked earlier today, this is why I was saying when we was talking earlier today about the camera and everything, it's just like I'm reading a book. It's called what? The Millionaire Mindset, something like that.
Yeah.
The Millionaire Mindset. I think that's what it is. But it's talking about how like, and this is why I was saying it's like I need to really dive into why, because it was talking about how like basically this you judge a tree by its fruits. But if you want to change the fruits, you don't work on the fruits. Like if a tree is like having bad fruit or the fruits are coming out deformed or they're too small or too large, it's the issue is in the roots. Or for example, if I plant apple seeds, but I want bananas, I don't try to change the fruit. It's like I got to change the seed. It's like the seed is what dictates what will happen. And so ultimately, it's like a lot of times when you're whether it's limiting beliefs, whether it's a certain way of thinking and the results in your life around you, it came from something that was rooted deeper in your way of thinking, in your psyche. And most people, what they try to do is try to fix the fruit, and that would be crazy. And people try to like fix the result instead of going deeper. And I'm just thinking a lot about that. Um, or whatever. Since I was reading that book earlier, and I was just like, man, that's an interesting thought, but definitely something to think about. And when it comes to these calls, I mean, that's something to think about, man. It's just like that's what I was saying. It's just like William, when you saying like, I'm not good, I'm not a salesperson, I'm not this, I'm not that. There's something rooted down. It's like honestly, us doing this role play, us doing, me giving you a script, all of that ain't gonna change. There's something deeper. That's the fruit. There's something deeper. It's a seed. It's the roots. It's something below the ground that you can't see that is dictating why you feel that way, or that's dictating your outcomes, why you don't call, that why you think you're not good or whatever. It's something deeper than that. And so it's just like it could be because you've never worked in that sales position. You might lack confidence, or you don't come in an environment where talking to people is what you do. But I'm telling you this now, I was capital trash at sales all the years that I worked in sales, like in retail sales, like working at Verizon and stuff like that. I was trash at sales. And then what had to shift for me, it wasn't the sales. It was I used to try to learn. I worked with some of the best salesmen. I used to try to learn. What it was I couldn't sell something I didn't believe in. Like
Yeah.
I really honestly, I just did not believe in people whose cell phone bill was already $400 and trying to pitch them a tablet that I knew was going to be an extra, couple $100 over the course of a year. I just couldn't do that because I was thinking out, I was selling. It was called selling out of your own pocket, is what you do. But, realize that person, they spending their money how they spend their money. They're gonna spend it anyway. They're gonna give it to somebody, and they're gonna give it to someone who they perceive as giving them value. And so I wasn't thinking in terms of let me provide value. I was thinking, nah, I wouldn't do that. I don't believe
Yeah.
in that. I don't believe, what I'm saying? I'm just keep it simple. I don't believe in upgrading every year. Upgrade when you absolutely need to is what I think like. And so I didn't believe in that. But when it came to real estate, this was something that I had my heart in. I believe in this. I believe we could take this far. And so that way, my ability to apply myself on the calls, I became fearless when it came to jumping on these calls. I was like, dude, yeah, it's just talking to people, man. They're just human beings. And like, I knew I would get rejected, but it's just like I believed in this. I believed in it. So maybe that's
Yeah.
what it is for you. But my point isn't that whether it's that you do or don't believe in it. It's like probably it's not even just calling or just making the calls, and there's really not much we can do until you figure out what it is in the root of you that's just like making you feel that way. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
Uh,
You have to a delusional belief or a greater purpose.
yeah. No, that's big too, because some people do it that way. It's like they don't get me. I got to get in tune with the greater purpose part. But some people can just say, "Let me fool myself. Let me put on like let me fake it. Let me fake it." And some people are okay with that. I'm just not. And I'm not saying that even anything is wrong with that. If that's how you do it, and you know, can make it that way, then that's how you make it. Because I've seen some really great salespeople in that arena, in that retail arena. I'm like, dude, these dudes would kill it out here if they knew about this. They would murder it. It's preferably gingers. I don't know what it is about people. If we got any gingers watching, it's always like a ginger with a beard. I don't know why, but they're usually cold. But me, I had to get like there had to be something greater behind it for me to really get in tune with it. And when I did, it was just like all nothing. There was no such thing as limits. Um,
Reed Johnson, I wish I could call, but Cordero, you should be a therapist, bro. You have no straight up. Man, you trying to say I can't be a therapist?
dude,
Why I can't be a
dude, man.
therapist?
Nah, real talk. You know what I'm saying? I think Byron less about being a therapist, but just a teacher. And I don't necessarily mean in a classroom setting. You know what I mean? I think that's why you can put the VA team together. That's why you got the patients to all of that. Like just a teacher, dude. I said it for years, and I'm gonna say it here publicly. I say,
I tried to
I
tell Cordero, man, like the way he putting the words together. Remind me, I used to put the birds together. It's like, dude, I don't put the words together like that, man. You know what I'm saying? I just be talking like I be talking, man.
yeah, and, well, ultimately
Cordero,
that's what it takes.
he could, man. I try to tell him, it's like he say the right word in the right spot. It's like, dude, y'all gotta listen to this guy, man. Like, dude, he can call people, talk to him, and it's like, man, they start talking to him because I'm like, dude, I called up people start talking like I'm talking, man. They ain't giving me a shot.
Dude,
Jeezy, hey, yeah, that Jeezy, you already know what time it is, man.
man, Byron done closed some deals, man. He's keeping it from y'all.
Hey,
He's hiding it that he be getting folks
I
down,
just
down,
be out there
down.
taking action, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be telling people.
Yeah.
It's like, that's why I'm here. It's like you ain't even gotta be smooth. You ain't gotta really know what to say. You ain't gotta really know what you're doing. It's like
Yeah.
you just gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Like I was showing people a couple of weeks ago videos that I used to make on like in my kids' room in the dark. You know what I'm saying? It's like
yeah.
that's way
Yeah,
different
boy.
than where we at right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
you can just start going. Because if you just start going, you will get better. And don't mess around and actually believe that you can do it. Don't mess around and actually invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying? You mess around and invest in yourself, and woo, they better watch out. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, that's that rocket fuel.
like, they better watch out. Chris Bird said, what auto dollar do y'all use and why? Go ahead and tell them about the dollar, man. I know Cordero's on that dollar for sure.
That's a good question, man. And I say this: my favorite dialer is batch dialer. All the dollars will work if you work them. Anything will work if you work it. And so it really don't matter. But my preference, and because that's why I say it's a good question, because no, most people ask us which one we use. They don't ask why. The real reason why is because it's the most user friendly. I think I used Mojo for years. I actually used ZenCall when it was ZenCall. I know Byron used Call Tools. I think I may have used another one, but Batch is the most user friendly. And honestly, you know really what it is, dude? Is Batch got night mode. I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. That way you calling all day, you looking at the screen, you can turn that night mode on, get you in your zone. You know what I'm saying? That was a big thing. And just to show you, it's those small details that help me decide which dialer I would use. And if it's like if you trying to pick, well, which CRM should I use? Podio, what is it? Salesforce. There's so many different CRMs you can use, dude. Find the one you like and go with it. But I use Batch because it's user friendly. That's period. But um, I think, I mean, I don't really think there's any other benefits that they do that's any different. Batch dialer isn't going to affect your contact rate. Batch dialer isn't going to affect whether you close deals or not. Batch dialer isn't going to affect, as opposed to Mojo dialer. Which dialer you choose isn't going to affect those things. There are other things. Batch
Yeah.
dialer is good at that, and batch dialer is good at keeping you compliant. They always got regulations and stuff like that. They got a tech support. I like that for sure. Little stuff like
Yeah,
that.
for sure, for sure. But shoot, man, we've been on here for an hour and 5 minutes, man. Gave y'all hour, good hour, man. Me and Cordero went over here and did the first cold call role play since we didn't have William Johnson or Chris Bird or Cass or Ali or Keithon. I'm calling y'all out by it right now, by the way.
Yeah, he had. To, I was about to say he had
Rondo,
to call y'all out, man.
Zay. We ain't had none of y'all call in, so I went on ahead and did the first one. So next time it's on y'all, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude, this is a two-parter, man. This is a
Yeah,
two-parter.
and it's part of
So
getting
tomorrow,
it's part of getting active, man. I mean, we're gonna keep doing this day to day. You know, we're trying to get on it, but it's part of being active. You know what I'm saying? I used to listen to King Kong video all the time. It's like, dude, people are looking at stuff, looking, but most people ain't gonna do nothing. Most people ain't
real
gonna
talk,
do
bro.
nothing, man. Like that's why I'm here. Because I actually did something. You know what I'm saying? I could have done nothing. Dude, if I'd done nothing, I've been just getting out of the school building right now. I'd still be making $70,000. I'd probably be still in that apartment. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
most people ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? They talking about how they won't change, talking about how they want this, that. Ain't gonna take no action, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like the victories in life go to the people who take into action. That's where
Yeah.
the victory in life going. It's like the victors are taking action, right? It's just like my guy Cordero. He over here taking action. He finna go buy him a camera. He got a social media set up. He taking action.
Yeah, man. I need to put that
he
thing in
been, dude,
overdrive,
he
though.
finna
It's about
change.
10x.
Dude, he finna change lives for y'all people that don't know how to get on these phones and talk to sellers, man.
TTP.
TTP. I'm just talking to people. Like all I'm doing is TTP. We talking about professional TTP. You know what I'm saying? I'm just out here just talking.
Dude.
We talking about professional talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Professional. Like I'm listening. It's like, dude, I'm trying to figure it out. So, but yeah, man. So I'm just saying, man. Next time we jump on this thing, Chris Bird, you on, man. Kimberly J back, man. Kimberly J, what's up? We gotta get
She one of the
Kimberly J
originals.
on. Oh, original Kimberly J, a OG,
Yeah, I remember
man.
that name.
Yeah, Kimberly J, a OG. Join late, but what market y'all in? Shoot, we all over the place. We everywhere
We're
now.
literally
We do
nationwide,
Facebook
by the
ads
way.
nationwide. But we really hitting heavy in Atlanta, Clarksville, and Fort Worth, Texas. So
All over
still
Middle Tennessee, by the way.
all over
All over
Middleton.
middle, all over Tennessee, all over Georgia, all over Texas. Real talk, if we're being honest. You know what I'm
Heavy,
saying? That's where we heavy at, but then
heavy.
nationwide. So if you got something cast in the middle of Timbuktu,
California.
uh, dude, we just found out that Kalamazoo is a real place, by the way. I don't know if y'all knew
Exactly.
that. So it's just like all these, I'm starting to question everything. Is Timbuktu? Timbuktu is probably a real place, isn't it? No, it is. I think it
What's the
actually
other
is.
dude name? And we got to talk to Billy Coon. Billy
Dude,
Coon, baby.
that
We
name
over there
came up.
talking
I
to
was like,
Billy
ain't no
Coon.
way. It's just like sometimes, like, bro, you be especially off in that dialect, you be seeing some crazy
Billy
names.
Coon.
You be like
Cordero tried to
the.
change that man last night. He like, is this Billy Cole? Nah,
I
it's
said, is
he
this
said
Mr.
nah.
Khan?
Yeah,
Now he
he's like,
said, it's
no,
Bentley Coon,
it's
brother.
cool, man.
I said, oh, I said, no, I guess so.
They're
Dude,
trying to
Billy,
change that man last name, dude. That man last
like,
name
bro,
Coon.
dude, hey, that's a wild
Oh man,
name.
that's funny.
That's a
That was
wild
funny.
name.
Yeah, it
That's a
was.
wild
But
one.
I'm in the St. Louis market. Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Appreciate you letting us know that. We may mess around and get something in St. Louis.
Hey, dude.
Chris Bird, man, we have to hit you up for sure.
Listen, we
Say
would
they
hit
make that
any.
bird call.
Yeah, man, we would hit any one of y'all up, and we're just, taking action, taking y'all along for the ride, man.
Yeah, no
That's
doubt,
what
man.
we're doing.
No
That's
doubt.
what we're
But
doing. And so, well, look, like I said,
go
this
ahead.
is two-part. I believe we'll be coming back tomorrow. We're gonna open the lineup for y'all to call in, but if y'all ain't calling in tomorrow, I'm just gonna start calling some real sellers tomorrow,
Yeah,
man. So y'all don't sleep. That roll call that we did, though it was a roll call, that's really how the calls go. Like that was a very accurate, true to life. Me and Byron both do this. We talk to enough sellers. Those are real instances, real things that you can do, real takeaways. So if you're learning, like I would say, study this, watch it over and over again. Is that Wu Tang?
these old Falcons are doing what, man? The Falcons are trash, man, and they
Man, Wu
won this
Tang,
week.
stop bringing up the Falcons. And
They
don't say nothing
still
about the Titans
trash.
either, man. As long as they trash, don't bring them up.
Wu Tang in the building, man. Shout out to Wu Tang, man. Wu Tang been in thing for a minute too now. Wu Tang, shout out, man. But
Wu
shoot, we finna
Tang,
get off this
man.
mug. Appreciate y'all coming through. Y'all like the video. We got 6 people in here. We should have 6 likes. Should have more than that. Reality.
Yeah.
Like the video. Everything y'all see us do, go ahead and share it. Cordero is on IG, man. Go follow Cordero on IG, man. We got to get him. We got to get Cordero going, man. Like I said, he could be your therapist if you need him. Go follow Cordero on IG and Wu Tang over there
Yeah,
cracking
man.
up, man. What time tomorrow? Shoot, same time, around 3, 4 o'clock. That's when we be on it. Whenever my kids fall asleep.
Yeah, that's just so y'all know why it's sporadic. What I'm saying, we kind of moving it around our like life and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's what it
Yeah,
is.
and we actually doing business. So me and Cordero get it talking
Yeah,
about this deal. Next thing you know, we talking to seller, we doing this, we trying to get this out. It's like, oh shoot, man, let's go live. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, exactly.
we over here doing the biz, man. We over here doing the business for sure. But man, like I said, appreciate y'all coming through, man. Till tomorrow, we back. We gonna roll call. We're gonna do the cold call role play again. Well, we gonna jump in this dialer and see what these sellers talking about and just talk.
Hold on,
But
man. I got a quick question. I don't know what made this pop into my head, but you said, I mean, we talking, right? And the people in the comment section, they interacting with it. They talking with us. William, man, you driving a truck. You said you can't talk. I would venture to say, I can't drive a truck. I can't drive an 18 wheeler. But I'm willing to bet you be like, dog, you can do it. I mean, you ain't gonna just be like, you ain't gonna get in that thing and be like, it's something. And I really think I could. I'm a good driver. I know how to go make them wide turns. But I'm pretty sure you thinking like, it's not impossible. It's not necessarily unlearnable. Would you say that? Like it's just like only certain people can drive a 18 wheeler and some people can't. Like it's impossible. It's like, and I'm sure there was a point where you couldn't drive at all. Now you
yeah,
drive in the truck. So think about that. Like you can do. I just want to say it's possible. It's possible. Anything is possible.
anything is possible. Yeah, no doubt, man, for sure. But
Anything
shoot,
is
man,
possible,
we finna get out
man.
of this thing. Appreciate y'all, man. That was definitely a good comment at the end, though. And shoot, we'll holler at y'all tomorrow. Peace out.